Okay, y'all, I'm on my way to school, but I got the urge to talk. So I wanted to make this video because I'm getting a lot of questions because I made a post the other day on Facebook. My name's Ro. I own a company called RoWholistics LLC, where I'm a doula or a birth worker. I'm an herbalist, and I'm a healer. So with that being said, a lot of people have been talking about birth control because I made a post talking about wishing that people would talk about the bad things about birth control. So I got a lot of messages about people saying, oh my gosh, I really need some help, or can you tell me some more stuff about it, because, or things that you have that can help, because I have issues and I had birth control, or my doctor is telling me that I should take birth control to fix said issue. This isn't medical advice, but I'm going to tell you my personal story and how it started for me to talk about birth control even more after being a doula. Like, that wasn't enough, so I had to have a real life experience here. Okay, so I got the mirena after my last daughter in 2016. I thought to myself at the time, I was kind of in like a domestic violence relationship, and even though I kind of didn't want to, that was kind of my priority, was to not have any more kids at the time because of the situation. So I got the mirena, and I pretty much didn't even really have periods like most of the 5 years. Like maybe every 6 months I would have light spotting or whatever, but nothing major. So 5 years pretty much later, I got the mirena taken out. At the time, like, there was no need for me to put anything else in, even though, of course, when you go there, they're going to try to convince you to do that again. I think from statistics and from what I know, you shouldn't have birth control for more than 10 years, they say. My advice, if you don't need it, I don't think you should have it at all. So I took the mirena out, and I was waiting on my period, of course, and it started. But when it started, it was the worst pain ever. Now, mind you, when I started my period, like as a teenager, I didn't really have cramps or anything. Like, that wasn't a thing for me. So I'm wondering why I have shooting pains down my leg. I'm cramping. I have a migraine. I'm nauseated. I feel bloated. I basically feel like I'm pregnant every time, but just like in labor, not just pregnant. I feel like I'm in labor every time. So it was so bad. So it was at that point that I made what I call the moon phases tea. And that was a blend that I created with some loose herbs that I had in my cabinet, because I used things that I knew would work, like red raspberry leaf for, for my cervix and, my overall womb health. And then I used nettles, and, I just went in there and started mixing things up. And that's how the moon phases tea got created. But it was that tea blend that I would start taking every month, like right before my periods, because it was just that bad. So in my opinion, I don't think people should really even gravitate towards birth control, because there's things like natural family planning where you track your cycle and like, these are my fertile days. Like, if someone's regular, there's using things like neem oil, which I hear is really successful. There's using condoms. I mean, there's so many other ways to not get pregnant. There's not having sex at all. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for us, right? I understand if someone feels like they, need birth control, but a lot of suggestions, I feel, are not really necessary, because there are things we can do. Our body is naturally the way it is, and once we put other things in it, we're altering it in a way, and sometimes people's bodies don't respond well. I've had clients that literally told me they pulled it out because they knew that their body didn't feel right, or they asked for it out because they knew immediately when they put it in, their body didn't respond well to it. So it's really just based on your body. But in my opinion, there's things, and if you've, like I said, if you've had your birth control removed, or you have symptoms like PCOS and cysts and things like that, I really recommend the tea blend that I made, or just a tea, because but mine, I think, works amazingly. then there's some other things I make that are really helpful, like yoni steaming. I really recommend that. We can talk about that in another video, but yeah, that's just my story about birth control. I just wanted to share that just because a lot of people asked about it, and boom, that's my story. It was awful, and I've never felt that awful in my life except for when I was in labor. So I just don't recommend. I give it 2 stars. The only good side was not having a period, and that's not healthy either, because I've also seen people hemorrhage, you know, just because your body's supposed to flush itself out. So to naturally stop that process, I don't recommend that either, because there was also other symptoms while I took it. While I didn't have a period, I also thought I was pregnant every month, even if I didn't even, you know, interact with a human being. It was just the feelings that it gave you, and it causes weight gain, in my opinion, even though they'll tell you in your face that it doesn't. But, you know, just my opinions.